Okay. Yeah, hello. Do you all remember this laptop this Acer? We found that the screen connector was a bit ripped off. Let me try to see whether I can show this under the microscope so that we can be on the same page. Yeah, I've tried to look for this connector everywhere, but I'm not getting one. And I've thought of maybe customizing something here. I don't know whether that is going to work. So yeah, remember this place here? Yeah, this connector was having problem with this part here, if you can remember very well. And this is the part I thought maybe we could fix and try to salvage this screen before we can think of anything else. I don't know whether I'll be in a position to see this connector in a better manner. Yeah, so you see what I wanted to achieve here is to break these pins here. You see these pins that are the 3 or 4 pins, because they are touching the ground, and anytime I make that screen and try to come with a charger and put in here, this is a very high voltage, is a 19 volts, they are going to short with the ground and cause a short. So I just wanted to break them this way, and I will jump this wire from this side here. I'll jump these wires here from this side and try to connect directly onto the other side of the connector. These wires seems to have the same voltage. As you can see, there are 3, and when I come here with a multimeter and come in diode mode, I'm having a beep of these 3 wires. So even if I can take one wire and just jump it, I'm hoping that we're going to have the screen connector back to normal. So if we check the other side, the back side, this is ground, and you see what is separating the ground from the live is a very thin rubber-ish or maybe a plastic stuff here, as you can see. And now since here it's not there, those pins that are 19 volts were touching the ground or the negative part, and this is a short circuit. The same problem that caused it to be like this earlier before, because after the plastic after too much heat, the plastic part was burnt out and melted away, and now the 19 volts was able to touch the ground, and hence this short, causing this kind of damage you see here. So yeah, for the screen connector, we'll have to change the screen connector. There's no shortcut to this one, because as you can see, you might think that the screen connector is perfect the way it is. You see this part here? Here there must be short circuit, because this is where the part of the screen connector that is burnt was. This is where the part it was coming in. So this whole of this screen connector must be removed, and we put another new screen connector. And so yeah, let's work on that right now and see whether you're going to achieve this display right away. Thank you. Yeah, hello. Yeah, so I've figured out some way on this screen. Remember, as I told you before, I had tried to look for the screen connector for this model of Acer Chromebook, but I could not find the screen connector or the VGA cable. And so I had to become very strategic and to think very quickly on how I can come about this so that I can not lose money and to get some money. I would call this some form of customization, but it's still good if the customer can be served and customer is in need of this laptop. I understand he's just about to do the CATS exam in his class. I talked with him about this. So this is not work I'm doing without his consent. It's work I'm doing after talking to him, and he's okay with this. So when I was working with on this screen, sometimes I would not even be able to work under the microscope. Reason being, I'll show you right now. First and foremost, I had to change the connector. I don't know whether you can see this connector here, as I told you. So don't work with the same connector, because I don't know, you see this connector? Yeah, this one here. This is the connector that was burnt, and we are going to see that under the microscope. So, and after that, I had, this is the kind of game I played with this laptop. Maybe let me go under the microscope so that we can see this together. Yeah, you know, like sometimes you have to, in this repair industry, you have to be creative, and so that you can make money. Otherwise, if you're not creative, you end up losing a lot of job. Yeah, some jobs like this one, it requires you talk to the customer and see the way forward instead of losing all the money. Okay, so you see, yeah, sorry, this is where the screen connector is starting. Why I've put this glue here is because of this cable not to come out. When are you able to see that? You see, this is 19 volts. This is 19 volts. That was not going through the other connector because you remember the connector was ripped off. I'm having some mosquito here, and I don't like mosquitoes. Sorry. So this is the 19 volts. So I had to come and rip off the connector a bit and remove the outer cover from the connector. You see here, I remove the outer cover and get this 19 volts because these are the wires that were not giving us the 19 volts. Remember, this screen was showing from inside, didn't have the backlit because it was not getting the 19 volts. So after ripping off, remember this is work I couldn't do as I show you because sometimes I was not even working under the microscope. It was a bit tedious for me. So I came with these wires and I glued them, I soldered them directly to where the cables was having some missing lines, you remember? And after that I glued it together so that it cannot come out as I try to show you what I've done. This is the ground. I had to take it this side here so that we can, and remember, as you do this work here, you have to be very sure about this is the ground. You have to be very sure about the shorting the screen, and you have to be very specific on where you are soldering those two wires. So let's get out of the microscope mode maybe. Yeah, so that is what I did, and I was also to show you the screen connector. Sorry. Yeah, let's go back under the microscope. I really wanted you to see this part here. So let's go on the screen. The connector I've just changed. Yeah, you remember? Yeah, these are the parts that were not. You remember this part here? The lines that were burned from the screen connector, they are here. You can see them very comfortably here. This part you can see. And also from inside. I don't know whether you can be able to see from inside. Can we try that? I think there's some damage inside. Can you see inside? There's some damage. Yeah, if you check all these other areas, I don't know whether I'm having a tweezer or a syringe. My flux pointer, you see? All these areas are looking perfect, you can see, except this area here. Sorry, this area here. This area is not looking perfect because that's where the problem was, and this is why we have soldered the 19 volts. We were very careful using the multimeter, the diode mode or the continuity mode, to check the different powers and see whether those three lines are together, and I found that they were together, and that's when I put the 19 volts on the three lines, the three on one spot, so that they can supply the 19 volts, you remember. And now maybe let's come back to camera mode, and so that I can now see whether we have been able to do the work. Yeah, so that is the screen here. Yeah, let me try to cover it a little bit like that, and maybe I'll also come and try to put some more tape there. Yeah, maybe I should also remove this stuff here, try to cover the back part. Yeah, I tried to solder them there using a tape so that they may not interfere with me while I was working on that screen connector. So let me maybe also try to put them the other side. And maybe before we do that, let's first of all see whether the screen is working. I come with power. I connect there, my power supply. Yeah, you can see now the screen is giving us a display. Okay, I don't know what happened. The screen went out for some time, a bit. It's a Chrome OS, it's an Acer. It's not quite easy. So I tried to look for this connector. It was not quite easy for me, and so I had to improvise. It's still solving a problem. And I'm still going to get paid because, as I told you, yeah, and money is a reward after solving somebody's problem. So always, if you can solve a lot of people's problem, you will earn a lot of money. So skills today is a bit is a good thing to have. For those people who have got anything you can sell to people there, solving other people's problem. I'm going to get paid for this one because I solved the problem. The client doesn't care whether I got the correct VGA or the right cable. He doesn't care as long as the machine is working. Go back to his class and work on his classwork. He doesn't have time and money to buy another laptop for now. So that is it. And because I've secured back well, I think the only thing to do on this part here is to come and try to take back these sections here the way they were, like that. And maybe I can hold these plastics now from this other side here so that they can obey my command. They seem not to listen. Should we add some for this other part here? I think this one also should have something holding it down here. Yeah, so if you want to be perfect, you can go ahead and ship this stuff from China. If you want to be an engineer, or maybe be very perfect in what you are doing, be 100% sure, not actually 100% sure, 1000% sure. It's up to you. For me, I think I'm okay with this. Me and client, me and my customer, we are okay with this one, no problem. And as long as I was very careful on the screen terminal and powers, that's what matters, nothing much. So guys, that is it for today. Yeah, I've taken some times to work on that part here. Sorry, I was not able to bring everything under the microscope because of the technicality of the fault that was in front of me. So that is it, guys. Keep subscribing and sharing and liking, and let me know what you think down in the comment section. Yeah, bye.